from Upworthy. Millennial woman uses clever 3 wishes metaphor to explain why she doesn't want kids. Okay, let's hear this.
You know how I know that I don't want to have kids? If you gave me a genie and you said you have
Okay,
3
wait. Let's try this again.
Sounds like AI.
I tried to make it bigger. Yeah.
I want to have kids. If you gave me a genie and you said you can have 3 wishes, and I said I want unlimited money, I want a 100% guarantee that I'm going to have 0 complications in my pregnancy, my birth, it's not going to cause any problems in my relationship at all, and I'd magically have unlimited time to be able to do everything that I wanted as well as raise this child, I still wouldn't do it. Not everybody is meant to procreate. And that is okay. And it's not some kind of feminist brainwash telling me that I'm finally allowed or should be selfish. It's that we are the first generation that's openly talking about it like this, and it makes people mad. Oh, but Tara, you're going to be missing out on so much if you don't have kids. Yes. And you're going to be missing out on so much by having kids that I'm going to have in my child-free life. That is okay.
That's not true.
Bookmark and check back in 15 years.
Right.
But like babysitters exist. Like the idea that like you had a kid and all of a sudden now you can't do things. Like, what are you doing? You want to go on vacation? You can bring your kid, or you can hire a babysitter, or like this is the funny thing. The idiocy and the brainwashing of this. We used to live with our families. So like if my wife and I want to go do something, guess what? Mother-in-law or, or grandma will watch baby. There's literally no concern or issue whatsoever. The thing is, we usually just want to stay home and hang out with the kid. Like, I would rather watch my daughter learning how to crawl. It's exciting. Than go do anything else. This is the brainwashing that she doesn't understand because people aren't around family and kids anymore. But because of this insanity, you now have a collapsing civilization everywhere, not just in the United States, because she doesn't understand. And you know what it is? It's like Dennis Prager called it with cut stem politics or whatever you call it, cut root. I always get the phrase wrong, but he says, you hold up a beautiful flower and everyone can see how beautiful it is, but you've severed it from its roots. And in a matter of time, it will die. So what happens is you get women who are told to believe they can have it all. They can't, so they don't. Then they're told to justify why they don't have families and why they should be happy. Then they go into media jobs and tell other women they're happy, trust me. Then you get women who grow up, don't even understand. So that argument from her is fascinating because if you wanted to be honest and you actually had kids and said, here's what it was like before I had kids, here's what it's like when I have kids, what does almost every single parent tell you?
Kids are better.
Kids are better. I love my kids. I can't imagine living without them. I should have had kids sooner. I wish I had more. Yet for some reason, all of the people who never had kids are like, I'm totally fine not having kids.
No, it's not just women. I fell victim to that propaganda. I had a good woman that, that I didn't make my millions yet. I need to do my career. I got it. And now I sit here 10 years on, not married, childless. No, I do go to Colombia a couple times a year, so I don't know. But as far as I know, not, I don't have any kids. And it's harrowing because I think for a long time I didn't think I wanted kids. Now I do want kids for sure. And now I start thinking, my parents are getting older. I've robbed them of the joy of watching their grandkids grow up. And to your point, like, what am I going to do? I'm going to be 60 in the club. This is like I'm going to be sitting there with a bunch of cat ladies and, having another bottle and another and cat. Like it's this idea that you had to be wealthy to have kids. Everybody's broke. I know people that make $1 million a year and put $500,000 of it up their nose. Like everybody's broke, dude. Right. You know what I'm saying? So like.
And broke is a state of mind a lot of times too.
People figure it out. Yeah, it's a big mistake I made, and I feel very, very bad for our generation because we were definitely psyoped into.
Well, it's not just that. It's the economy was bad. There's a bunch of factors that conspired against us, and we were told by these leftists and anti-America people they fomented this problem. But I want to say this. I am successful. I am of resources. I could do a lot of things. I could charter a private jet and go fly to Iceland and party over the weekend. I could literally do whatever I wanted. I could book a private jet for next weekend. We got the skate event coming up this weekend. For next weekend and go to Nolans and play poker in the Big Easy. I don't want to. My daughter has started waving for the first time.
Yeah.
So, whenever Like my wife would see me, she'd come over, she waves, and then I would wave back. And then just in the past couple of days, my daughter was almost 9 months. She's now waving her arm at us, and we're like, she's learning, and it's magic. And I'm like, I got to be honest.
The AI is evolving.
The thought of, I got to be real, like life gets boring at a certain point. I have traveled the world. I have been to 30 some odd, like 36 different countries. I have witnessed revolutions and the fomenting of civil war. I was in Ukraine at the start of what turned into the civil war and now eventually a full-scale war. I was in Egypt during revolution. I gotta be honest. Eventually, it's just like, it's kind of, I've been there, done that. And now I have a daughter, and it's like the most interesting thing ever and the most exciting thing, seeing her grow and develop. And these women are being told to what? Go to the club for the 3,000th time, get drunk, and then go bang some random guy? At a certain point, don't you get bored of doing nothing?
But at this time, it's in Mykonos.
Oh,
I got
to tell you, I have been to most of the countries I could care to be to, have traveled to, right? Morocco. I guess Antarctica might be fun, but we can still do that even with kids. It's just at a certain point, I started to notice, yeah, Japan was really fun, but it's not distinct enough to want to go there all the time. You want to move there, good luck. They're very, not pro-immigration, but I guess now they are. So at a certain point, I don't understand these women who are like, I just don't want to have kids. I want to do stuff. Do what? Like, honest question, do what? You've been to the club, you've been to the show, you've seen it a million times, culture is stagnating. What more could interest you? These women, I'll tell you this is what I said of Chelsea Handler. She's going to be 60, 68, 70 years old, dying, and they're going to bring her she's going to be in the hospital room. The doctor's going to come in and say, ma'am, I'm sorry, but it's terminal. Is there someone you'd like me to call? And she's going to go, no. And he's going to say, well, press the button if you need anybody. And they're going to walk out, and then she's going to be sitting there staring at the beige wall as she slowly dies. That's hell.
Yeah.
Or you have kids, and the doctor comes in and says, I have terrible news. It's terminal. Is there anyone you need me to call? And to say, no, my family's outside waiting. And then your 3 kids and your 7 grandkids are all standing there crying, saying they love you, and they're going to be there for you till, and everything you've built and everything you dreamed of will carry on forever.
That'll also give you, as somebody who has family that's going through cancer right now, that gives you the will to fight on.
My God,
yeah,
I
I've
would
heard
not
that
wish.
kids keep you young.
Chelsea, imagine Chelsea Handler. I would not wish on my worst enemy her having terminal cancer in her twilight years, in a hospital bed with all of the money that can buy her nothing, and she's just alone. Because what's going to happen to these people? I tell you the nightmare story. Let me put it like this. I'll try to be nice. I'm hanging out at the casino playing poker, as I like to do, and there are guys who are like 77 years old playing poker every single day with their Social Security money. And when I first started playing here, I was talking to some of the younger guys, and I was like, what's with all the older dudes who just sit here and they barely play? They'll get 2 cards and they'll throw them away no matter what, almost. And it's like, well, they don't want to lose their money because they're only here because they're lonely. So these older guys who have no friends. Now here's the kicker. They have family. Their kids grew up. Their kids are off doing their thing, and they're lonely. But the reality is their friends are all dead. And so I'm like, this old dude who's spending his Sunday 12 hours sitting at a table, not really playing the game. Like they call him old man coffee.
Just to be around somebody.
Because their friends are all dead. And so they're around younger guys, conversation might happen. And one of the days was really funny. I'm a goofball sometimes at the poker table. And so old man finally raises. And you know what's happening when the old man does this. He's got aces. He's got the best hand. And so I had something trash like 7-4 offsuit. And I'll give the old man action. I call. Hit 2 pair, beat him. He was there for like 20 minutes. He stands up and goes, well, I guess that's it. And then just turns around and starts walking off. And I'm like, welling up like, oh, man.
Yeah, that's why I stopped playing. I kept taking people's money. And then
it's not about that. It wasn't about taking his money. It's that he only had a little bit. And what he really wanted was just to spend time with the boys. But here's the sad reality. There's a point. They don't have the boys anymore. Let me tell you another thing that's going to rip out the heart of all the millennial guys. You're hanging out with your buddies.
You could have staked them, Tim.
Hold on.
Yeah, you could have slid a 20.
You're hanging
under
out
the
with your
table.
friends playing Halo multiplayer. You ordered some pizzas and wings, and the Mountain Dew is right there on the table. It's messy. Someone's rolling a joint. and you play. It's about 1 a.m. You're going to go home, go to sleep. You've got class in the morning. So you get up and you say, all right, boys, till next time. And they say, right on. But there never was a next time. Ooh. That was the last time you guys got together and played video games, and you didn't know it was the last time.
That one doesn't get me as much because I'm about to play some Fallout 76 with my homies from high school. And now we all have kids.
Yeah.
Well, not I have.
Point is, at a certain point,
I forgot that I don't have kids.
There was a last time for everything. Mm-hmm. There was a funny post on Reddit where they said at one point you picked up your child for the last time and you didn't realize it. Mm-hmm. And it was really funny because a guy commented saying, my dad walked into my, he was 20, he's like, I'm 20 years old. My dad walked into the kitchen, lifted me up. And I said, Dad, what the hell are you doing? And he was like hell, I haven't picked up my son for the last time. Yeah, it's like, you're my kid. But what I'm saying is to these women who don't have kids, when I see these old men who even did have kids and are still looking for some kind of time to spend with other people, it is the utmost of horrifying hellscape realities. You know, they say that the final circle of hell, the ninth circle of hell, you are chewed in the mouth of Satan, surrounded by ice for eternity, for your betrayal. And if I had to choose between dying lonely in a sterile environment, at least Satan is there with you. Like, solitary confinement is torture because humans need the presence of others.
That's right.
So these Chelsea Handler type women who are going to be dying of, experiencing renal failure in the hospital. And here's my point about Chelsea Handler. Those who know who she is and care what she has to say are going to die. She will be an old woman, and Gen Alpha and Gen Bravo are going to be like, I don't know who that lady is.
Yeah, she's selling the disease of loneliness.
I remember when George Burns died. You guys remember when George Burns died? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Meant nothing to me. But I remember my parents were like, wow. I remember when George Carlin died. And that meant something to me a little bit because as a child, I saw some of these George Carlin comedy specials. I knew he was famous. And I was a fan as I was growing up as a teenager. But I know if you go to most Gen Z people, the death of George Carlin is like, I don't know, he's a guy who died.
John Madden for me.
And right. And so Chelsea Handler will come to that point where the younger generation is like, we don't know or care who you are.
Yeah, your fans aren't your friends. I mean, no offense. People watching, probably you feel a kinship, but the reality is your family, man. The people that you spend every day with and build this, what's called pragma. It's a kind of love. It's this pragmatic love that's developed through overcoming adversity with people. That's your family.
Chelsea Handler is going to spend her twilight years, when she is not convalesced, in her estate with some like Gen Alpha or Gen Bravo caretaker who's wiping her ass and changing her diapers. And she's going to be a bitter old crone like in those movies. And the kids outside are going to be playing baseball and they're going to be like, the ball lands in her lawn and go, no, don't go over there. That's old lady Handler's house. And some kid's going to be like, I ain't scared of no witch. And they're going to run over to grab the ball and she's going to look out the window and go, you get off my lawn, yeah!
Old lady Handler.
Yeah, I would say people like her that you read in this article, including Chelsea Handler, is that they have lost their purpose. And that's the biggest thing with these women today is they have no purpose. They think the money, the career is their purpose. No, it isn't. It's just like a man. What is our purpose? To protect, to provide, to build. And a woman's purpose is to nurture, right? Support. And there's a lot of skills and innate talent that women have that are going to waste. And they're, going into these careers, which there's nothing wrong with getting a career.
Fighting their biology.
But there is nothing like having...
SSRIs.
Exactly. But there's nothing like having children. And the people who rage against having children are people who don't have children. It's from a place of ignorance.
A friend of ours...
That's a great point.
A friend of ours from the UK, his name's Carl, he continuously tells people, you have a responsibility to have children. Right. You have a responsibility to raise those children, to carry on humanity.
Let me just I'll get to the meat and potatoes here. This woman saying she won't have kids, not her personally, because I don't know her politics, but many of these women are liberal leftists. They vote for Commie Mom Donnie. How dare you demand that my child pay taxes so you can be funded by the state because you didn't have a family? Mm-hmm. When most of these millennial men and women who vote left are struggling to walk and crapping in their pants, the state is it's going to happen because there are so many childless men and women, particularly millennials. They are going to be propped up by the state. They're going to vote. They're going to be in their 50s and 60s, and they're going to say, we want the government to clean our butts. And that means the money for that is going to come from my daughter.
It'll be millennials and possibly Gen Z that are going to be saying terrible things, or that are going to be relying on young people to pay for them. And those same people currently, right now, are bitching about the boomers, how the boomers didn't do anything for them and blah, blah, blah. And they're doing the exact same thing. By not having kids, they're making it so that way the younger generations are going to have more and more of a difficult time to pay for their Social Security, their Medicare, their Medicaid. It's disgusting when you really think about it.
It's not just that boomers own the corporate equities and the properties. It's that these millennial women, largely and the reason I'm saying women is not to single out women for not having kids, because men don't have kids too. It's because they overwhelmingly vote left, and the right doesn't. They're expecting Gen Alpha and Bravo to pay Social Security taxes so the government can wipe their asses for them when they're elderly and dying.
They've been promised a life without accountability.
Responsibility,
That's what it is. They've been sold that, and this is what socialism does. They've been sold a life sans accountability. Nothing's your fault. Nothing will ever be your fault. Nothing was ever on you. But instead, they've been given a life without purpose, to your point.
Exactly. You know, Tim, you said something earlier, which is when you make a lot of money, which I do now, I'm very blessed. I will say that.
Congratulations.
You realize, wow, it really doesn't matter. I mean, you realize, well, if I lost it, I can make it again. Or you realize, especially when you have kids, my son right now, who I just miss him right now. You know what I mean? I literally would rather be there. I love being here, by the way. Yeah. But you know what I mean? That feeling of like, oh man, I got to leave right now.
When we were in, we went to DC for the Comedy Loft show, and my wife and daughter stay. Or actually, a better example is I went to Austin to do a bunch of going on to people's shows. I was just the whole time being like, I'd rather be back there hanging out with family. Like I said, it is infinitely more interesting to me when my daughter waved to me for the first time than literally anything else. And to be fair, I'm almost 40, so I have done a lot. And the argument is like you're in your 20s and you want to see the world and you want to do things, but all of that is still possible.
Yeah.
It's I would have rather have had a kid younger, and then now be like, okay, now I'm going to go travel and do stuff that, empty nester or whatever you got to do. But, it could go either way. What I will just say is I feel like everything that was interesting to me, I've largely done. And most things now are of trivial novelty. So if someone's like, you want to go golfing? I'll go, I guess we'll go to Top Golf. And it's just like, I'm not obsessed with it. I'm not psychotically passionate about it. I'm particularly obsessive. That's why I work 16-hour days. But with having a daughter, that's just infinitely more interesting than anything else I could think of right now. Yep. And to be honest, like we definitely wanted to have a kid sooner. We should have had a kid sooner. It is what it is. It happened how it happened, and I'm glad we have the daughter we have, and we're actually planning on having more kids. But I'm just sitting here thinking like of these women, again, to go to the point I made before, at what point are you like, the club is boring?
There is no return on investment in the way that they think. None. Results show that. History has shown that. It's like what we were saying in the car, which is they manufacture problems thinking they need to solve these made-up problems. Like the problem is, women can't have a career. When did that actually become a problem exactly?
When the pharmaceutical companies figured out that they could put half the country on birth control and SSRIs forever, so let's just pump this down.
I will add as a final thought too, like there were corporations and people in government that thought we can double the economic output by putting women in the workplace and compete in the Cold War. It's like, how do we beat the Soviets? If women work, we're going to double our economic output, and here we are. Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.